In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about exactly who is running the class of 2025 in technology in the AI space. Hi, my name is Brett with Anvil Music and Media. Thank you so much for joining. If you would, subscribe to this channel. Stick with me until the end. Got something special for you. High school for me was about 25 years ago, and there were groups in high school that would hang out. It'd be different groups. You would have your athletic group that would hang out over here. You'd have your group that were like the really smart kids that would hang over here. You have sort of the weird kids over here. Well, imagine for a moment tech companies in high school as being special or having special cliques. Apple would be the rich kid with a secret. Google would always be called to the office for doing something wrong. And ChatGPT is sort of the new kid on the block that everybody wants to talk to and hang out with because it has like new information, and you get where I'm going. But first, I want to talk about Apple. So Apple this year has run into a few bumps on the road. It's supposed to be releasing the iPhone 17 coming up. Of course, we've had releases of the iPhone 16, a little bit of a twist with the iPhone 16e, which is a cheaper model. I believe the iPhone 16e is about $599. So there's some more economical, inexpensive products that Apple is sort of putting out there for its consumers. But the future of Apple, we're sort of looking at the AI, and it's really hasn't done a great job of its AI integration with its phone. You know, even with allowing ChatGPT to become an app, it's like you have to allow ChatGPT to be an app on the phone. But this is sort of speaks very frankly to the fact that Apple is not prepared to release its AI innovations coming up, and we've got to really see what's happening with that. So will Apple sort of give up this? Will we have an AI-less phone? You get it, AI-less. Will there be a phone without AI, or will Apple just sort of kick the can down the road? We'll have to see what happens. But I want to tell you some facts. Apple's iPhone sales are declining at an alarming rate. Back in 2023, I want to go back to that year, 2023, 2024, sales were through the roof of iPhones. It started to decline in 2024, late 2024, and now into 2025, the sales are not like they used to be. The sales are definitely declining in the iPhone, and Apple has to race to sort of figure this thing out. They have to figure out, and they've always, they always touted, hey, we're a company that does not seek to, we're a company that keeps your information private as a consumer. We don't push your information private. Man, that's really a dig at Google, right? Google is like anti-privacy. Apple is about privacy, but is it really about privacy, or are they just sort of trying to cover the fact that they have not excelled or exceeded in the AI space? So we'll have to look into that, and I'm sort of curious as to what happens in the future. Of course, we have the tariff challenges that Apple faces with US and China tariffs. Now, the definition of tariff, I want to really kind of give this definition. A tariff generally is a tax, not on the country, but it's on the company. So as an example, if you have an iPhone, or if Apple produces the next new iPhone, let's say the iPhone 17. They produce that iPhone in China. Once it reaches the US shores, there will be a tax or a tariff that is declared upon that product. And the money would be owed by the company, Apple, not China. So I want to get that straight as far as tariffs. But in terms of tariffs, Apple is looking, I've looked at articles, they're looking to move their phones to India, to Vietnam, and of course there are going to be tariffs for India and Vietnam, and so they're just trying to ship a whole bunch of phones here to the US to try to get ready for their upcoming events. Now, there is an Apple event that's coming up in June, and I'm curious to see what happens with the introduction of the new 17. So they're looking at introducing the 17 Air, which is going to be the thinnest. I believe it's going to be the thinnest iPhone that Apple has to offer. Don't look for the battery to do a lot, but I mean, I don't think with a phone so thin, how much battery life are you really going to get out of the thing? I'm not even sure. There are also rumors of the foldable phone that's coming on. That's That's not probably won't be until 2026. But these tariffs are sort of really another bump in the road for Apple, and they've really got to get on their game to this AI race, because it's very important that they keep their consumers coming back and back again. Of course, the upcharges keep coming, right? You go to pay for a product, and Apple likes to upcharge you. They don't say that they're going to upcharge you, but they upcharge you in the prices of either your storage or your RAM, whether it be a computer or phone. Even accessories are just outrageously priced. And so they have all of those prices baked into their revenue, so that they can continue to make more revenue. So that's sort of where Apple is. It's a lot of secrets, right? A lot of secrets that we don't really know, Apple being the rich company. But with Apple's plan, I believe AI is it's going to be a process, because Apple is such a huge company. We're going to imagine for a moment, as huge as Apple is, in order to get their AI innovation through, it's going to take a huge process. So just look for the future of that. We'll see what happens. I want to actually move over into Google space. And Google, of course, has been that kid who has always been around. Let me tap my computer for a moment. I like to have my backlights on. But Google has been a company that has been the kid that's been around. Lately been getting in a lot of trouble, right? Going to the principal's office, if we want to keep that parallel going with the high school parallel that I have. And Google is currently in an antitrust lawsuit with the government, with the DOJ, the Department of Justice. This anti-privacy lawsuit, it deals with the sale of Chrome. Now, Google has for a long time been the search engine that everyone has used. I would love to take a poll. You let me know. Are you still actually searching in Google? Leave it in the comments. Let me know if you're actually using Google as a search. I probably don't use it as much. I use all of my other AI search engines, which they're search engines, right? But Google has this sort of antitrust thing going on about them, to where they've sort of used advertisement as a way and a means to get information, right? Or the other way around. The way they get information is, person A goes to search online, and then whatever they're searching online, Google is taking inventory of those items, and then it's turning around and selling you or selling the advertisement to companies to advertise to that consumer, whatever it is. So it's sort of a skewed advertisement, right? It's some back end stuff, right? And to be honest, it's kind of on the lines of like, this is sort of fuzzy, right? This isn't the best business practices, as the government is sort of kind of leaning towards calling them a monopoly. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, it looks like the government wants Google to possibly sell Chrome. So I don't know if once it's sold, whoever they sell it to, do they have it for 2 or 3 years? From what I hear, Google can legally buy Chrome back after 2 or 3 years. So what does that even matter? Like, we're just sort of playing with the consumer's feelings here. So, but we have to see what this sort of happens. There are some other things that are coming, that are really coming to the news as a result of this lawsuit. The news apparently says that Google has been paying Samsung like billions of dollars, millions and billions of dollars, literally, to use Gemini as their AI source, right? So they're paying companies to utilize these products in place of its competition. So not only are they using advertisements or getting money for advertisements, are actually also paying other third-party companies to use their product. So it's kind of fuzzy, guys. I'm just saying. So and I want to get into some of Google's future. So Google really you really don't get much privacy when you go to search on Google. I'm just being honest. There's not a whole lot of privacy. Google is sort of like, they're out and open with it. Like we're using information, and they're taking this information, right? They're taking all the information that they've used over years. You gotta understand, Google has been around for 20 plus, 25, 30 years, however long, don't quote me on that, but it's been over 20 years of acquiring information of searches that we've searched of year in, year out. And what are they doing with that? They're taking that search and they're actually putting it into a farm, like an AI farm, to be able to further build out their company and in hopes that they will be the leaders in the AI future of innovation and integration. So, these are some things that Google is looking for in the future. A bunch of partnerships. Google has a partnership with NVIDIA. Of course, NVIDIA is a chip company, and they announced their partnership with NVIDIA that will bring a range of Gemini models. I believe Gemini is now at 2.5, which was just released earlier this year. So you got to be on the lookout for that. Google is just sort of hanging around. Hope they don't get thrown in jail, right? But and finally, what I want to really talk about is the evolution of ChatGPT being that new kid on the block. To me, I personally feel like ChatGPT is today where Google was about 20 years ago in terms of like everybody's using it. It's the search engine. Now we know we've got other AI search engines such as Gronk. We've got Gemini. We've got Perplexity. Let me know in the chat what you guys are using in terms of what are you using to search for your what AI source are you using? I'm currently using ChatGPT. You kind of have you kind of have these search engines are really interesting. You kind of have to be careful. I like to search at least three. I use Gronk. I use Perplexity. I also use Gemini and ChatGPT. So like four. And I sort of throughout the day, I'll give them the same question and sort of see where the hole's at. You'll be interested. Like if you do this search and you search different items or different information on each search engine, you'll notice, and in a lot of cases, there are holes in the information that you get back. So you have to be very careful with that. But I really feel like ChatGPT is actually where Google was 20 years ago. Google is no longer the search engine of choice. It is now AI. That's just the reality of where we are. So I want you to let me know in the chat. Give me a comment in the chat. Let me know what you're using for your AI search, and we're gonna see what happens going forward. I'm really excited. We're gonna see who's gonna take on this class of 2025. 2026 will be here. It's going to be a whole nother year. And it may be a new student that we have not heard of. There are many other companies. We've got a plethora of other different companies, a lot of startup companies. I'm hearing about all these guys in MIT that are literally just going to college to start up their own AI startup company. So these venture capitalists are out here hunting them down to see what can we fund, which company can be the next AI companies to sort of take the reins and to propel us all into the future. The internet is it's an amazing place. It's a place where we share information. It's a place where things are copied. It's a community. It's almost it's a socialistic site, a media site. So I call it media socialism, to where you can just get pretty much all the information that you need, and it's going to double in information and triple information as the years go by with AI integration. So we'll see what sort of happens with that. What I want to do is those of you who may be interested, I have an ebook that I just released earlier this year. It's a MacBook ebook, or a Mac ebook, if you will. The purpose of this ebook is for those who may be in the market for purchasing a MacBook or a iMac. I have compiled a basic laundry list of items that I feel like consumers who are looking for a new computer or a new laptop, that they may not have the information for, right? So if you're anxious sort of to get into the Apple store, if you've been online and searched on apple.com and you're sort of anxious about like, what do I purchase? What do I buy? This book is going to be perfect for you because I sort of break down, the accessories, the storage, the RAM space, how much you would need if you're like want to just buy or purchase a computer for leisure, to surf the internet, do light editing on video or photos, or if you're like in the production graphics, like you need the heavier engine working for you in terms of the computer. This ebook is going to help you. So click on the description below. You can purchase it today. This is a brand new book that I specifically personally, I made this and wrote this out for you guys. And so go pick that up and stay tuned for, I'm here, not always, but I'm going to be here every Tuesday and Friday. I'm on live at 6:30 in the morning, probably 6:40 a.m. Eastern time. Every Tuesday and Friday, we just have a community where we get together, we talk, we sort of discuss. The discussions, the conversation is just amazing. It's wild. Like, people are just talking. I think the other day we were talking about foods and other things, and like this is real life stuff. But I sort of come to the live with information of new technology throughout during the week that I'm on live. Any sort of new technology news that I may have heard or researched. And so we're excited about that. Join me Tuesdays and Thursdays. And until then, I will see you soon. All right.